Well, hey there. Thank you so much for coming to hang out with me this evening. I was going to go for a walk. Could you come with me? Yeah, let's go. And I'll wait. If you want to hit the pause button to put your shoes on before we go, I'm cool with that too. Hey, if we haven't met before, my name is Kendall, and I am all about emotional and spiritual health. And so we can chase something beyond ourselves in our lives, something eternal, something that is going to matter. And that was something I wanted to discuss with you tonight. I wanted to discuss something called emotional intelligence. I don't know if you've ever heard of it before. It was new to me until about 2 years ago. I wish I knew a lot sooner than that. And I hope it's news to you because I get to share it with you tonight. If you have heard of it before, stick around. Maybe I've got something else to share or something that you haven't heard about yet. So, in our lives, our emotions are related to all sorts of things. They're how we make decisions, they're how we store memories, they're how we relate to the world around us. And it starts with how we relate to ourselves. And how we relate to ourselves is how we relate to other people. And how we relate to other people in relationships is also how we relate to God. Because ultimately, Christianity, having a relationship with God, Jesus, it's a relationship. And so part of understanding that comes down to something called your emotional intelligence. This is sometimes called your emotional quotient or your EQ, not to be confused with IQ. IQ is just how much raw brain power you happen to have. And that's pretty much set as soon as you're born. Your EQ, though, is how you relate to your emotions. Here, let me explain how this works. So all the sensory data that you have coming into you right now, everything that you're hearing, you're seeing, what you're touching, what you're smelling, what you're tasting, whatever it happens to be, all of that sensory data is hardwired through the emotional part of your brain. And it doesn't matter how much of a unfeeling robot someone is or how much of an irrational hot mess somebody is. That's how it is for every person in every circumstance. Okay, well, maybe not every circumstance. You do have diseases and you do have brain damage and things like that, but that's basically how every human being functions. And then after it passes through the emotional part of our brain, it gets to the rest of the brain, including the ability to make logical decisions. Now, the ability to meter that difference between the emotional and the logical part of your brain is what we call emotional intelligence. Now, it's actually a good thing, it's actually a good thing that human bodies work this way. For example, if you're out here on a walk with me and an escaped tiger from the zoo walks across your path, the first thought you have you don't want your first thought to be, evening.
Vlogging?
Sorry?
Vlogging?
Yeah.
Yeah, you a vlogger?
I'm starting a YouTube channel called Chasing Eternity. What was that?
What's your YouTube channel?
It's called Chasing Eternity. I just started. I've only got 2 things up right now. This will be number 3.
Okay. We'll keep going.
Thanks.
Streaming.
So anyway, it's always good to stop and talk to neighbors. Thanks for allowing me to do that really quick. I was saying that's how it's hardwired. If a tiger jumps out, when a tiger jumps out of the woods, the first thought you have doesn't want to be, I wonder how this is going to affect my schedule for the rest of the evening. No, the first thing you want to think is, holy crap, tiger, get the heck out of there. Hit the adrenaline and go. It can also work against us too. Think about a road rage driver, for example.
Let them know I'm the first person here to let you know that you're going to be famous. And I'm here to let you know that. Let them know. Don't
Thanks
forget my name, Jabari.
Yeah, Javari?
Jabari Brown. He's going to be famous one day, I promise you. Don't forget it, y'all.
We'll see. Hey, have a great night. I love my neighborhood. Everyone is so friendly, and I don't even know who that gentleman is, and now I'd like to consider him a friend. So I was talking about a road rage driver, how somebody who starts to do things with their car because they get angry, they're purely thinking about the angry emotion. They don't take time to consider what's going to be the consequences of what they do, the recklessness of their car, the death, the damage that they're going to cause, the consequences. It just doesn't occur to them in that moment. The good thing, though, about your emotional intelligence, though, is unlike your IQ, that's something you can change. It's actually something you can grow in over time. And this is excellent because there have been studies done, well, I haven't read them, but I've been told by smarter people who I've read that tests have been done, explaining how your EQ is a better indicator of your success in life than how much raw brain power you have. So emotional intelligence, you can break it down into 4 basic categories. The first is self-awareness, being able to understand what you are feeling in a particular moment. And that's as simple as saying, I feel angry, I feel upset, I feel sad, whatever that happens to be. You also have self-management. This is taking your emotions and then knowing what to do with them, being able to change your emotional state, how you respond to a particular circumstance. So those are the 2 internal categories. You've also got 2 external ones. The first external one is it's social awareness. It's being aware of what other people are thinking, what they're feeling, what their wants and desires are. And then that 4th category is relational management. It's going, okay, I understand what you're thinking, I understand what you're feeling. Now, what are you going to do about it? Can you help coax them into a better frame of mind? Can you set up healthy boundaries when you need them? So those are your 4 categories. Now, there are tests you can take on this stuff. I took one, and I personally think the results are hilarious because I'm all over the board. I'll share them with you now. So when it comes to self-awareness, understanding what I'm feeling, I scored an 80. 80 out of 100, where 50 is pretty poor, and if you're in the 90s, you're a rock star. You just really nailed that category. So I'm in the 80s, meaning I'm pretty good at recognizing what I feel. However, I am down in the 50s when it comes to emotional management, self-management. So it's weird. I understand what I'm feeling, but then what do I go and do with it? I don't know. That's something I'm learning on my journey. On the other side of that, though, when it comes to social awareness, I again am terrible. I had I think a 54, and the book that I read gave some pretty extreme examples of what a 54 looks like, and I go, wow, I'm right there. I just simply don't get it. Part of it is I just didn't have a lot of social connections growing up, a lot of contacts. Part of it is just skills I've never learned how to develop. That's why I'm here on this channel. I'm sharing with you what I've learned and what I've developed. And I hope that helps you out. Interestingly enough, though, my strongest category is relational management. And I scored something like, I think it was a 96 or something like that. It was bonkers. So I don't know what people are feeling, but once I do, I'm excellent at working with them. Evening. I'm excellent at working with them and finding out what makes them tick and helping them manage that. So I know that was a lot to throw at you. I'm sorry I just sort of ran my mouth tonight. I have to admit the distractions didn't help. I've never broadcasted and gotten interrupted before. So that's something I'm working on, figuring out how to best structure these videos to help you guys out. Because that's why I'm here. I'm not doing this for myself. I'm doing this because I'm hoping that something from my own experience resonates with you, or that I can share something with you that could save you 10, 15 years on your life because you've learned it so much faster and so much sooner than I did. I want to leave you with some takeaways though. Like, sure, Kendall, emotional intelligence is great, but what do I do with that, or what does that mean? And maybe the simple takeaway is just recognizing that your emotions play a big part in your life. The decisions that you make, the people that you're around, how you respond to various things. And that's okay. It's not bad. To be human is to be in touch with your emotions, with your anger, your sadness, happiness, fear, and whatever it is. Those are supposed to be part of who you are as a person. And you can accept those parts of yourself, or maybe just start to. If you're anything like me, you might have an unhealthy relationship with some of those emotions. But that's why we're on this journey. We're going together, and we're going to learn something new. I guess the other takeaway that you can take from this is I'll go ahead and leave the book, a link to the book in the description that I used to learn about this, at least the first book. It's a really simple read. The best thing about this book is you don't even have to read the whole thing if you're not that big into reading. You can just pick in the bits and pieces out that interest you. And it does come with the test. Just to be clear, I am not affiliated with this book anyway. I'm not getting kickbacks. I'm not getting sponsored. I'm just sharing it with you because it helps me. And if you want to know more than what I can tell you here, that's where you can go. Well, hey friend, thank you so much for spending some time with me tonight, and thank you for your patience too. And I hope we keep growing together. I'll see you next time.